Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kirbside Podcast. I'm your host, Jay Kirby. Joined here this evening by a good friend of mine from Retro Styles Gaming, Shiek Styles.
Hey, what's going on, Kirby?
Good evening, my friend. So welcome to the Kirbside Podcast. Tonight, unfortunately, I'm not joined by my lovely co-host, Britt. But today, we are reviewing AEW's Full Gear.
Oh, yeah.
My goodness, what a show. So I've brought Shiek on. We're going to talk about some of the matches, run down this card, see how I felt, see how he feels. And if you guys like this, we'll do more pay-per-view interviews with more guests and, crazy reactions to what happened. But before we get started, as always, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, tap the little bell on your YouTube app so you never miss an upload, and buy the t-shirts at prowrestlingtees.com. So before we dive into this match card, Shiek, how did you feel about Full Gear? What'd you think?
I mean, if you could sum it up in one word, fun. When you sit there and you look at a lot of pay-per-views, sometimes they try to do too much or they don't give you enough. I really felt, Full Gear gave you exactly what you were expecting. You definitely got your money's worth. And it after AEW's last pay-per-view, you didn't need a whole bunch of surprises.
Right.
Subtle little things that they did. One thing I love is when wrestling tells a good story. And I felt that Full Gear did that in a few ways, both within the wrestling world and in real life.
Absolutely. I like the show was wonderful. The matches were really good, but like you said, it didn't have to be this big spectacle like last month, because last month it was just like everything was big. But this month it seemed like it wasn't bad. It was more grounded. They didn't need 9 surprises in the main event. They didn't need to put 2 world titles on the line and who's going to walk out with the undisputed. They just, here's your matches. You're going to enjoy these matches because I sure as hell did. And then, on to the next one.
And on that point, too, no one felt like they got buried. Everybody, whether you won or you lost, improved on their character, which is great.
Absolutely. So before the show got started, we had little pre-show. They call it the buy-in on YouTube. Mm-hmm. We had Dante Martin had a little, let's say a run-in. That's the right word, with the Acclaimed. And I said it, and then, they got into a tussle. Martin does his crazy flip and, crowd goes wild because that's all this boy has to do.
Right.
I'm calling it now. And I said this when I was watching Full Gear. Give this kid like 4 more years and he's going to be the next Ricochet. He's going to be in the talks with Will Ospreays and Flip Gordon's of best high flyers in the world. Because good Lord, some of the stuff he can do is indescribable.
And to make that kind of impact in an organization like AEW, which is known to be spot central, is saying something.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine if Ricochet ever left WWE and came and wrestled Martin?
I just would like to imagine Ricochet leaving WWE.
Right.
Get back to seeing.
God, I love WWE. Right.
I just want to see him back to. I believe he is a top guy, or if not for the World Championship, an Intercontinental or your.
Oh, he's definitely a top guy. Just watch anything from Lucha Underground.
I just don't get it, and that's a whole nother, show.
Oh no, the can of worms.
Yeah,
we'll do it. I could do a whole career dive on Ricochet. I love that man. After that,
Joey trained in Philly, right?
Yes, I did actually. I almost forgot, but I remembered. After that, we had a women's tag match. We had Hikaru Shida and Thunder Rosa versus Nyla Rose and Jamie Hayter. That's right. I almost forgot who her tag partner was. I thought it was a good match. It was it got the crowd warmed up. Wasn't anything insane, but it was still, pretty solid.
Solid's a good word for it. And that's all you really needed. It was still part of the buy-in show.
Mm-hmm.
It's very rare that you see women matches, especially women tag team matches, put there as part of the buy-in. That's what's supposed to get people to buy the pay-per-view. So that just puts a lot of trust in those 4 women.
Right,
I
right.
thought it was good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I'm biased. I love Hikaru Shida and I love Thunder Rosa. And so it's them teaming up. Solid opener. I didn't give this one a rating, mostly because I honestly didn't rate any of their pre-show, but I would say maybe 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, I have it in that C+ range, so maybe a little higher. I do have a question before that.
Go for it.
One thing I was looking at, when they gonna let Thunder Rosa get that belt? Because I feel like that
they're
doing a slow
teasing
build.
us, man. They're teasing us. I think if she's one of the, I would say one of the 3 that I think is going to get the TBS title, and then you can use that TBS. I don't know anything about wrestling. Don't shoot me, Tony Khan. If they're smart, they'll use the TBS title like WWE did in the early 90s. Where they use the Intercontinental title as the platform to the world title.
Right.
When you drop the IC title, it was because you were moving up in the world. Look, Macho Man carried it forever, then became world champion the next year. Brett did the same thing. Shawn did the same thing. Like, the TBS title should be the stepping stone for the women's title.
And you could have 1 or 2 guys that take it like uber seriously, like Honky Tonk Man back in the day, or how the Miz did it more recently, where it was like, that was my belt. This is my heavyweight champ. And that really builds on that. So hopefully they do the same.
Hopefully. But I think Thunder Rosa's in that running for, if I had to guess, I would say either her, Hikaru Shida, or Jade Cargill as the 3 that I would guess for the TBS title. At least the first one.
Yeah, and one thing, and it's going to be an ongoing theme with this pay-per-view, it definitely did its job in making you want to watch Dynamite and see what happens afterwards.
Oh, absolutely.
And it left you with some questions in a good way because you felt satisfied. And that's going to be one of those questions that are going to be happening in the coming months. All right, what's going to happen with this belt?
Right. But that was our buy-in. We kicked off the show nice and hot with MJF versus Darby Allin.
To me, this was the second best match of the show, and you started with it. I mean,
I would say number 3, but that's just personal to me. But it is probably one of my highest ranked match. It is the 3rd highest ranked match on the card for me.
It's the
good Lord.
It's the subtle stuff. It's the MJF coming out and the Ric Flair like stuff being in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Like, that's so cool. And then telling a story very shades of Ric Flair with the hurt knee.
Yep.
It didn't have to be an over-the-top spot for him to have the knee hurt. Trying to get Darby Allin to get himself disqualified in order to get the nuts. By the way, watching that match, you saw the rings were coming out of his tights. He kept on adjusting himself to hide them. And I caught on to it. I don't know how many other people caught on to it, but it was one of those things where it was like he did a very great job of making sure to try to hide himself from cameras and stuff, and letting that still be a surprise at the end.
Yeah. I have to say, because when you watch Darby matches, he does all these crazy, good Lord, he's going to die spots. And there were plenty of those in the match. There were. And she's Darby, please just don't die. I really like you. Please don't die. As you keep doing coffin drops onto the apron and coffin drops to the outside. But it wasn't all just him throwing his body, off a building. It was him and MJF actually had like some really, really good grounded technical stuff for basically a high flyer, because that's Darby's shtick, but he did such a good job. And I kind of figured that MJF was going to pull some kind of shady finish. I didn't know what the shady finish was going to be. But good Lord, I have to say that is a gutsy finish for a wrestling company, beating someone with a headlock takeover after you knock that, like you. That's the thing about AEW is that, like you said earlier, the little subtle storytellings. MJF says, "I can beat you with the most basic day one move in pro wrestling," and then the son of a bitch cheats, knocks Darby cold out, and hits him with a headlock takeover. Like,
keeps his heat white hot. And
gold.
here's the interesting thing. So I had dubbed this match the middle finger to me match. Here's why.
Okay.
That I say I don't like too many spots.
Right.
I don't like stuff where like the beginning is borderline choreographed. I don't like when things just slow down to a crawl. All three of these things happened, and I loved it. All of it. So it just goes to show I don't know what I want. It was great. It all worked.
It really did. I thought it was a great technical match. It had plenty of high spots. The pacing for this match for me was probably the best of the night. It had its fast moments and then it had its slower moments. Like God, if they went, 2 or 3 minutes longer and had a belt on the line, this could have co-main.
Right. And it wasn't one of those matches too, which we'll get to one in particular where a guy's getting beat up and all of a sudden he's just acts like he had not been hit not once in a match. It wasn't like that. Both of these guys told an excellent story. And once again, even something as simple as MJF trying to put the Scorpion Deathlock on Darby Allin because Sting came out. The figure four in Minnesota, like everything about it, you were like, I get it. I get what he's doing, and he's an ass, and I love it.
Oh, absolutely. But in the grand scheme of things, I'd say overall I gave this match 8 out of 10. Like I said, there is only 2 other matches that are ranked higher than it for me. And when we get to them, you'll understand why. But yeah, I gave it an 8 out of 10. Wonderful, hot, white hot opener.
Absolutely. You were not going anywhere after that match.
Nope. I didn't want to go anywhere. I was like, all right, what's next? Speaking of what's next, Lucha Brothers versus FTR. This was an interesting match to me. It wasn't. I figured it was going to be crazy and wild because we're just coming off of the Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers in the cage. And I figured it was going to be one of those, and it wasn't. It was more grounded, and Phoenix still has his crazy, like death-defying, physics-defying spots, but it wasn't just all flips, and it wasn't just all ground and pound. I thought it was a nice, even balance of both.
Well, you're going against FTR. What was it? No flips, just fists.
Yep, no flips, just fists.
So I thought that worked out really well. There was certain things though, and I'm just saying, like, I don't get a chance to watch wrestling every single week. I don't get a chance to watch all the promotions every week, even though I'd love to.
Right.
And there were certain things that I think that for the casual wrestler, either were lost on them or didn't make much sense. For example, FTR with the mask type stuff seemed like it just didn't work the way that they wanted it to get over. However, with that being said, I mean, the stuff with the whole, FTR making fun of the San Romero stuff and both guys with their tributes in a heel fashion tribute to Eddie Guerrero.
Yep.
And, which as that went on throughout the night, I was like, why do they keep on doing this Eddie Guerrero? I had to look it up. I was like, oh, it's the anniversary of death. Okay. And it was in Minnesota at that.
And it was in Minnesota.
So I was like, okay, that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, to me, it was a very decent match. You didn't need a bunch of high flying stuff, and yet you still had your spots. And just two great tag teams doing what they do.
Amazing teams. I think they're the best outside of, the team that everyone talks about in AEW. I think these are the two best teams in the company.
Yeah. It's
And
hard to disagree.
And I think for the first thing I really liked about this match, because they teased it, and I'm really glad they didn't do it, is that the Lucha Brothers survived this match with their damn masks on, because it seems like every time they're in trouble, those poor, really expensive looking masks are getting torn to shreds.
Right.
So I'm glad that they survived like that. I liked the ending because of the whole mask thing, because they did the I don't know what they're calling them in AEW, but for me, I just compare it to the El Conquistadors. They're doing the mask luchador gimmick for FTR. And I think it's a good storytelling, because what they can do is this Wednesday, because FTR is all about their rules. They're all about tag rules. They can come in and say, you didn't pin the legal man.
That's what I was confused about. And if that's what happened,
you pinned the illegal man, and tag team rules state that, you didn't beat us, and then you get a rematch.
That now it's the long con. If you say that, that actually bumps the rating of the match up to me.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
And then let's talk about the fact that Phoenix just out here defying gravity again. The spot for me, the spot of this match for me, it wasn't even the finish. Penta going for the package. Phoenix jumps, double stomps. I want to say it was Cash. Sorry, it was Dax Hardwood. Double stomps Dax, and then cross bodies Cash Wheeler. And I'm like, the hell just happened?
It looked so great.
Oh, it was so smooth. It was so smooth. I was like, well done, Phoenix.
And
well done,
those
indeed.
teams work well together too. So hopefully we do get more of them.
Absolutely. And I'm excited to see them go at it some more. Overall, I gave it 8 out of 10.
Yeah, this one, I mean, it was a shade under 8, like 7.5. But I will say, if that whole thing happens with the mask stuff come on Dynamite, that actually bumps it up to me,
Right.
Then I'm like, okay, that's something I missed.
Next up, we had Miro versus Bryan Danielson, finals of the Eliminator tournament, number 1 contendership on the line here. Your thoughts?
Was one of those matches I was so excited for. I was so excited. And it wasn't bad. It was a good match. I think I just really wanted Miro to win. And I think that's why I'm kind of disappointed, which is so biased. But it's one of those, like, Bryan Danielson is being, quote unquote, handed everything as he comes in. And it would have been nice to see him take a loss and be like, what? Type deal. Not to mention, the whole idea. It's one thing to say Bryan Danielson is the challenger up, as opposed to say Miro is waiting. That has that kind of more.
Oh yeah, if Miro had won this match, it's a matter of, can Hangman survive? Now it's, can Hangman compete?
Right. Yeah, and that's it's interesting too. I like the way that those guys work together. I like the fact of the Bryan Danielson never beat Miro type of story that they had before that, where Miro kind of did a Hulkster type deal in some way. But, like, once again, the storytelling worked very, very well. And it wasn't like I was disappointed because the match was bad.
Right.
I was just rooting for a different ending. That's all.
I think, and I wouldn't call this match bad by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it was a little bit, I don't know if it lived up to expectations for me, because I know both of these guys are crazy athletes. I know their conditioning is insane. I know that they're both physical guys. And so I think I was expecting a little bit, not like a high flying match, but I think I was expecting the pace to be a little faster, and it seemed a little bit slower. a little bit I don't want to use this word, but a little clunkier than I was expecting. So I think that's why it wasn't as high for me. It was still a really good match. And both guys still look like stars coming out of this match.
It was a 7-minute match that they stretched out to 12 minutes.
I could
And
give
I
you
think
that.
that's the biggest thing. Listen, Danielson and Miro both know how to wrestle. And I mean, know the technical aspects and stuff. But you wanted to see something a little bit faster, like you said. You didn't want to see something where it looked like the guys were taking time to catch their breath.
Right. And
I don't think that's what it was at all.
Yeah, what's crazy is it seemed like they were trying to pace themselves until they kicked it into the second gear, and then the second gear never hit.
Never came.
Even though you know that both of these guys can go. Because Miro, I mean, look at the guy. He's not to steal his moniker from the other company, but he was a super athlete. Dude looks like a legit threat to anyone in that ring. And we all know Brian, you know, man can go for days. Hell, his 30-minute time limit draw with Kenny didn't even look winded, looked beat up. Like, you know, chest was red, but he looked like he could have gone another 30. So I feel like they just never shifted into the next gear. And that's where I think the match didn't live up. Like I said, still a good match, still really good. They still told a good story of, you know, Brian working the leg, Miro just throwing him around, but still selling that leg that, you know.
To me, the whole thing too, I think, and going to this is the ending of the neck is the weak point. I thought the finish was a little weak.
See, I don't mind that finish. I think they could have landed a little cleaner on that.
Maybe that's what it is.
That DDT, they could have landed a little cleaner and then gone right into the submission. I think that's what kind of bumped it down a little bit more. But, you know, the submission finish, you expect Daniel Bryan to literally choke out everyone. So overall, I gave it 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, I had it about 7, but, you know, 7.5 is fine. And you know what it really is? It's just you got a good match out of two guys, but you know both of them can do better.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know that second gear's there, and you're just begging for more.
Right. That's
the problem.
You both guys jumped into a Maserati and decided to do 65.
Exactly. So next up, my number 2 match of the night. I loved this match. I absolutely loved this match. Jurassic Express and Christian Cage versus the Super Click in the Falls Count Anywhere match. God damn, this match was beautiful. I loved this match.
It was so awesome. The whole idea of, you know, I'm trying to get Jungle Boy to do the Concerto, you know, type deal, and how he had a chance earlier in the match and couldn't do it, and you were seeing the character develop. Everybody played their role great, and even just the fact, I mean, you know, the Young Bucks are going to do what they do. Even just dressing in the hot pink, it was just great. Like everything about it was awesome. Adam Cole was great. You know, and I don't know how you fix this. There needs to be, I feel like, if you're going to do a high spot, that it doesn't look like everybody's just waiting to catch you. And obviously, for safety concerns, it's fine. But there was times in that match where guys were standing around what seemed like for 2-3 minutes waiting for someone to jump on them. That's very, very minor.
Yeah, I could see where you're coming from. There's a couple of those that I caught. Like Christian going to the balcony and doing the crossbody onto Nakazawa and Cutler and and Nick Jackson, I think, was fighting him.
And it was a great spot. It just they were standing there waiting.
Yeah, there's Cutler and Nakazawa going, oh, look, there he is. Oh, look, now he's flying. You know, that's how long it took.
Here's the interesting thing.
And granted, Christian is like 40, 45 pushing 50. So I don't want him to get hurt. And I'm glad that there were 3 guys to catch him. And why are you doing this at your age? Leave some for the rest of us young guns.
One thing that's interesting. So you have one side where I feel the bond between Adam Cole and the Young Bucks and their whole super click thing is getting stronger even in a loss.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side, I feel like all 3 of those guys are getting geared up for singles pushes.
Oh, absolutely. Jungle Boy, if whether it be the TNT title, whether it be the world title, or whether it be, hell, you can even say the tag team titles, Jungle Boy will be a champion. Mark my words and call me a liar. He will be a champion by the end of 2022.
And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if you saw some gold on Luchasaurus as well.
I hope so.
Some of the spots that he's doing and the high flying stuff, I mean, is for a man that big.
Oh yeah,
incredible. And
absolutely.
He's more than just a gimmick with a guy with a dinosaur mask, and he's more than just a muscle man.
Yep.
And you're starting to see people realize that, like, whoa, wait a sec, hold on,
Mm-hmm.
So it's so funny because I'm sitting there and I actually went to a movie theater to watch this, which was awesome. And so I'm hearing people go, why is Jungle Boy wearing jeans? Wait, what's going on here? And then, of course, a couple of the women are like, shut up, he looks good in them, wear them tighter. It was hilarious. But when people start talking like that about somebody who really hasn't got much of a push, they're on their way.
Right. So what's funny is the theory, if you will, between me and my roommate, because we watched it at home, was that they argue, Jungle Boy's growing the facial hair out. He's slowly becoming this bigger star. I joked first off that he's not going to be Jungle Boy anymore. He's going to be Jungle Man. And then I joked that when he came out in jeans, he's going to have Jordans underneath those damn boots and he's going to turn. And then
that would have been.
Then I got scared. I got scared that it was going to happen because Christian gave him the chair for the finish and was standing right within swinging distance. I was like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. I was kidding. And then he does the concerto. I was like, oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Oh, that was scary. But this match was amazing.
Please don't mess this up, though, AEW. Don't have him. He's no longer a boy. He's a man. So now he's Tarzan. And he comes out as Tarzan. Don't do that.
They just let him keep doing what he's doing. It's working.
Right.
I can tell you it's working because what was it? February or March, I was watching their pay-per-view where he won the Battle Royal against Christian. When he's getting cheered over Christian,
right,
that the fans are getting behind him. They proved, and we'll get into this later, they proved that they know how to slow burn something to that perfect payoff. So let them keep doing what they're doing with Jungle Boy because it's working.
To go back, I thought this was my third favorite match. I thought MJF and Darby Allin was slightly better.
This was number 2 for me. I'm also a guy
that thinks the Owen Hart Bret Hart match was one of the greatest matches of all time on a pay-per-view, and it was the opener. So I mean,
it kind of was. Cough. But overall, I gave this easy 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, this is definitely
easily.
Yeah, it's definitely in the 8 range.
Next up, we had Cody Rhodes and Pac versus Andrade and Malachi Black.
Now, if I understand this correctly, this was a late add to the card.
I believe so. I think they only added it about 2 weeks ago.
This to me was the worst match of the night. I mean, this was the one match to me. Yes, it extended the whole individual themes of of different storylines. Beyond showing how much the crowd hates Cody, it kind of was like,
Right. I thought it was okay. I wouldn't say it's the worst of the night, but it was not it's definitely not ranked high on my list. Um, I I'm trusting the process, but I don't know what they're doing with Cody. Like
Cody needs to become a heel. And I know you said he didn't want to do that.
I think that's what's gonna happen, but I don't know if it's time yet.
Listen,
I don't know. As far as in ring, I think everyone looked good, everyone looked crisp. But just the match, it just seemed weird. Like I hate saying this because I'm pretty supportive of AEW, but this felt like something you would see on Dynamite instead of a pay-per-view.
Yeah, and that's what it was. It felt like something that you'd see exactly on Dynamite rather than a pay-per-view. And it was one of those things. I didn't feel like all the pieces need to go together for on Dynamite that works. Sometimes you get 4 pieces that don't go together, and that's fine. But for pay-per-view, it just seemed out of all. Listen, everything seemed to have its place. This one was like,
Right.
one of these things is not like the other.
Right. And that's not, like I said, that's not discrediting any of the 4 guys in the ring, because honestly, Malachi Black's one of my favorite people in AEW right now.
Oh, I love
Andrade's on the come up. Like this man's like 1 or 2 steps away from being a world champion. Like he feels like he's starting to pick up that, that star power that he should have had at the other place.
And I love Pac too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And of course, Cody's Cody. I have nothing against Cody. I like the fact, though, it seems like Cody, being someone who is a partner in AEW, is trying to take care of everybody else first. It seems like.
Oh yeah.
And yet at the same time, he's doing his stuff that WWE doesn't let people do with his, or select people with the shows and all that. Like it's a nice mixture.
Yeah.
It's hard to push everybody in real life in front of you, but yet make it seem like you're being a glory hog, and he's pulling it off.
Right. And I think that's one of my issues with some of the fans is because so many people think that Cody is the Triple H of AEW. He's out here burying the young talent to make him look better. Cody gets his ass kicked by everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. Like there's so many people that I can't stand because they're like, oh, Cody's burying the young talent. I was like, oh, is that why he put MJF, Darby Allin, Brody Lee, all those guys over? Is that why he did that? Is that why he let Malachi kick his head in?
Let's be fair. Cody Rhodes has a hate face.
I mean,
like if you thought about it, if you had to make up like a face of a man who you thought would be arrogant and you'd want to punch, it's Cody Rhodes.
I give you that.
I hate the face, man. And he seems like a very, very nice guy.
He is. He really is. I've gotten to meet him once, and he was very down to earth, very good dude. So
I know this is a wrestling podcast, but to bring it to sports, Christian Laettner was a hate the face guy in the 90s, and even now, I had a chance to meet Christian Laettner, one of the nicest guys in the world. And yet, after leaving that, it was like, I still want to punch you in the face. It's just the way it is. Some guys have that, man.
And I think down the line, Cody's going to either turn heel and become the this is all mine, I run this show kind of heel, and then you build up that underdog baby face to beat him, or you just keep him right where he is and keep him as the gatekeeper for AEW. No, all the new guys are going to go through Cody. Malachi went through Cody, Brody went through Cody, Darby went through Cody, and those guys got over. So we'll see. But all in all, for this tag match, I gave it 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, I had it at 6. 6.5 is fine too. But this was, like I said, it just seemed like it was thrown in there.
I think I only gave it the half because the in-ring stuff was solid. It just didn't. The match overall just didn't click.
Well, I'll leave it at this point with this match. remember earlier I was talking about people getting beat up and then suddenly they're fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened with Cody. Cody is sitting there and they had the doctor come out to check on him. And then 2 minutes later, he's in the ring running around crazy. I mean, it was 0 to 100. And that's not typical of Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is a great storyteller. That just seems so disjointed. And I wasn't the only one that noticed. Like I said, I got a chance to watch this with 50 people. They're like, yo, what's going on here? And I don't know if that was part of Cody knows people hate him just to get him to boo him more. Maybe.
Right.
So I feel like AEW is really smart with that kind of stuff.
I think so too.
It didn't work for the time being. And maybe it did work. Maybe that's exactly what they want.
It'd be interesting to see what happens on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Next up, we had the women's match. We had Britt Baker versus Ty Conti for the AEW women's title. Honestly, I was kind of let down by this match. I hate to say it because I'm a fan of hers. I really do like her, but I don't think Ty was ready for this match.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
They wanted to build her up, and she's really good in the ring, and I'm a fan of her work. I'm a fan of, everything she does, but I don't think she was ready to win, and it didn't seem like she even had a chance to win. The match gave her a chance, but there was, I'll compare it to another match. I knew that Ty wasn't going to win, and for most of the match, for just about all of the match, I knew she wasn't going to win. I didn't even think she would win. And then Britt retained. Compared to another pay-per-view match they had, which was Pac, Orange Cassidy, and Kenny, where I knew Orange Cassidy wasn't going to win, but there were so many times where I was like, oh my God, it's going to happen. I don't think that wasn't there for this match. And I hate to say it, I don't think she's ready. And
remind me of this little conversation at the end of this. I do want to ask you a just random wrestling question.
Okay.
I'm always curious to ask if you don't mind. But
of course,
the gap between Britt and Ty is so wide, and it's not. Conti's a bad wrestler, not at all. She just wasn't ready for that spot, and that's not being mean. That's not being it wasn't nearly me angry. It just, you knew while watching that like, she's not ready. She's just not ready.
Exactly. I felt the same way.
Like, this was the worst match of the night to me.
It was close. There's one other, and we'll get to it, but there's only one other match that I thought was worse than this, but this was definitely one of the lower marks on the card for me.
Yeah, if it was able to move smoother and faster, you would have had something, but Conti just wasn't ready.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And it's not her fault. She's still young. She's still got plenty of time to be successful,
Oh, yeah.
And, maybe a couple of years from now, Ty Conti will be the biggest woman in women's wrestling. But as of right now, it didn't click for me. I gave it 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Next up, had a very interesting match, because this was not one of those, heated lockups and wrestling matches. This was a straight fight. We had CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston.
Can I just say, kudos to AEW for not making this a Falls Count Anywhere street match. Anything like, you already had 2 of those in the card. I'm so glad that this was Eddie Kingston just wanted to bust up CM Punk, but he had to do it legally. I loved it. I mean, I loved the concept of this match. I loved the drama around it. Felt it could have been executed a little better. But
I can see where you're coming from. If it could have been a little smoother. But
I want more. And that's a good thing. I really enjoyed this match. I enjoyed the fact that at the end of the match, Eddie did not shake CM Punk's hand. Because it just you can't be that angry at a guy and say, "What? I don't care if I win or lose. I just want to beat him up,"
Right.
and then suddenly shake his hand.
Right.
I don't feel like any respect was earned there.
I thought he was going to shake the hand, but I'm not mad that he didn't. Like I could see if he had where they were going, been like, okay, Punk beat me, whatever. But no, I think it was better that he didn't shake the hand. Honestly, I don't know if this wasn't one of Punk's better matches in AEW, but it made Eddie Kingston look like a star.
Yes, it did.
Because
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Because you can't see it now, but I love CM Punk. CM Punk is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, period, bar none. And I've paid attention to how people have reacted to Punk ever since he came back. And he has not been booed once since he came back. And people were cheering for Eddie in this match. I don't know if Punk did that or if it was Eddie, bringing the charisma, but that tells you something about where Eddie Kingston could go in the future if they're cheering for him over Punk.
Well, Punk helped him out a little bit with some of the vignette stuff. Even just the little stuff about, look at Eddie's life. This is the story of him. He always comes up short. And it's just a tinge of arrogance. And Eddie doesn't normally show his personality.
Right.
He just, they almost have him as like a borderline Brooklyn brawler type guy. He's a little better than that kind of job.
Right.
And he showed a lot more of his personality. The whole jerk off motion with the go to sleep stuff, I loved it. Everything
that was funny.
Was great.
That was funny.
It created one of the bigger pops of the night. And you're right. You don't normally see something with someone like CM Punk, who is so beloved. You talk about guys who probably have top 10 most loyal wrestling fan bases of all time. CM Punk's up there.
Oh, yeah.
And to have people, I don't even think they turned on him. It was just, all right, Punk, you're great, but we really want this Eddie guy to have.
Yeah, we really want to, especially, and I don't know if this played into the match more or if it's just in general, but especially after that article came out this past week about Eddie, like Eddie's whole life. If you got a chance to read that, it's wonderful read. It is literally Eddie going from, here's where I started. I have always been this angry prick, and I will always be this angry prick. And it cost me, a lot of opportunity in my life. And here I am in this place I don't deserve to be. And I think it made almost sympathetic. That's the right word. Like a sympathetic hero for this match where everyone's like, all right, Eddie needs a win. Eddie's been through a lot and he's been pushing hard and he's been fighting hard. It's Eddie's time. Let's do this.
And yet it didn't hurt Eddie to lose.
No, definitely not. Eddie can show up on Wednesday and he's probably maybe not to the extreme, at all. But I kind of look at it as the Bret Austin match, where Austin loses, Austin passes out from the sharpshooter, but only got more fan love after the match. So maybe this is Eddie's moment, he lost, but maybe this is the first step to Eddie becoming something bigger in the company instead of Mox's best friend.
Right. And I wouldn't be surprised with Moxley out, if there isn't a funky storyline where they force these two men to be a tag team partners.
I don't know.
It'd be hard to make it work, but if you could find a way where they both ended up with a common enemy, I think you could. It's not to the point where you would have the odd couple like the Rock and Sock Connection type deal,
right?
But you could see, because I could see now maybe there's going to be something where they could just end it here and that would be fine. But if they're going to continue, maybe CM Punk is going to finally try to go on this crusade to get Eddie to forgive him for whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
But it was a fun match, man.
It was a good match.
It was
and like you said, thank God it wasn't another, street fight, falls count anywhere, weapons, brawl. It was just a fight.
Right.
I gave it 7 out of 10. I thought it was solid.
Yeah. To me, it was 7 out of 10. And 8 out of 10 for all the little other stuff that had nothing to do with wrestling but set the mood.
Yep. So before we get to the next match, AEW comes out with a big announcement, a big signee. And boy, if this wasn't the jump off the couch moment of the night for me, we talked a little bit about it before we came on. AEW has signed a new talent, and that new talent is going to challenge Sammy Guevara this Wednesday for the TNT title. And that talent is one of the best pro wrestlers on the planet, Jay Lethal.
Now, let me tell you, people, like I said, I was watching this in a movie theater with about 50 other people. We walked in there and you could tell like the movie theater people are like, it's just a bunch of nerds watching wrestling. People literally jumped out of their seat. Popcorn was flying, screaming to the point that security came in because they thought a fight broke out because people were just that loud and that excited.
Hyped. I jumped off the couch screaming because I was shocked. I didn't expect any kind of crazy signee. I didn't expect any kind of crazy debut for this show. They hadn't teased like, so and so left this company and now their 30-day no compete clause ends Sunday at 7 and the pay-per-view starts at 8. Wasn't one of those. It was just, hey, this guy works here now. And my God, Jay effing Lethal. Oh my, I am ready. The body is ready. The spirit is willing. I need this match. Sammy versus Jay Lethal.
And for a man with that much experience, to put him right off the bat, Sammy is such a smart move.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a smart move.
Especially because granted, Jay Lethal is not Bryan Danielson. He is not CM Punk. Not everyone knows about him. But damn it, if he's not one of the best pro wrestlers on the planet, I've seen this man wrestle multiple matches that were like 30-minute bangers, or, it was a 10-minute match, but it felt like an hour, where it was just, I do not want this to end. He is good. He is damn good. And I can't wait to see who he gets in the ring with in AEW.
Let me ask you something that has nothing to do with their in-ring appearances.
Okay.
But it was just something interesting with these guys being partnered up. Now, Sammy, anybody that follows wrestling knows, got into some real hot water over a podcast he was doing years ago, where he made an off-color remark about Sasha Banks and used some poor wording.
Yep. I remember that.
Yeah. And I'm not going to say exactly what it was, but basically it made it seem like in a roundabout way, he was saying that he wanted to assault her.
Right.
Jay Lethal, on the other hand, has had women in Ring of Honor who have claimed as well that he was not too friendly to women competitors and kind of harassed them and stuff like that, which credit to Tony Khan for, working with Sammy through all that stuff. And they, obviously, if you've watched the wrestling, pay-per-view, fans have forgiven this guy and they're back in his corner. And Jay Lethal, everybody loves Jay Lethal, but of course, with that signing, all that stuff started to come back. Oh, this happened in 2018. Is there something about like putting these two together and having that backstory as well of like two guys who were accused of stuff, one where he just had poor judgment in words and obviously meant nothing by it, and kind of made his due, with Sammy even calling up Sasha and saying, listen, and going through all that. and Jay, who obviously this stuff has to have been found to be false if a billionaire is willing to sign him to a company.
Right.
Like, it just seems kind of intriguing, and I know maybe I'm stretching here, but
I don't know. How do I put this the right way? If I was AEW, now I'm not out here to take anyone's side in the conversation. That's the right way to put this. Whether
which is not my purpose for.
Of course not. Of course not. On Jay's side of the story, or some of the female wrestlers, if I was AEW, I probably wouldn't talk about it. I probably wouldn't bring it up. And found it or not, I think that takes away from what's going on, in front of everyone, between the ropes, if you will. And I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it.
Well, this is where I was going with it, and that's back in the olden days of wrestling when it was spelled RESSLIN. A lot of times you would have
back when it was wrestling.
When it was wrestling, right?
Wrestling.
A lot of times you'd have a veteran work with a rookie, and they might travel together, and it was kind of a mentor thing.
Right.
And Sammy Guevara has openly said that he still struggles with the fact that, he had a slip of a tongue and it made him look like a monster. Well, Jay Lethal has walked that. He's come out of the other side. Is this where maybe they're partnering these guys up so that way Jay Lethal could be a mentor to Sammy?
Maybe keep Sammy on the straight and narrow. Sorry. Keep Sammy on the straight and narrow, if you will.
Yeah, or even just so much how to, Sammy's what, 22? He's
something like that. He's super young.
Sammy is only slightly older than Jay Lethal's whole career. Like, that's to give you an idea of the difference between these men. So maybe it's just a way of, listen, anybody who has had any type of career where they've had to travel a lot, let alone doing stuff with your bodies, it takes a toll on you mentally. So maybe it's something, like I said, I might be looking too much into it, but I thought it was really interesting that they decided to partner these two together.
I see where you're coming from, but I think it's a big signing. I think they could do a lot with Jay Lethal, and it's and a lot of people forget about this. Jay Lethal was part of All In.
Yes, he was.
So he was there when AEW, when not the bricks were laid, but when the bricks were crafted for AEW. So absolutely. It's not surprising that now that he's free to go wherever it is that he's going to go, that he would go to his buddies and be like, let's do it again. But that's big signing, and I'm excited to see what happens next. Next match, I don't want to call it the co-main because it was definitely not my favorite match of the night. I think it was the worst match of the night, as much as I hate to say that out loud. Inner Circle versus America Top Team.
I didn't think it was the worst. I thought it was an okay match. I thought that a little too much silliness for me, and not with oh man, what's the gentleman's name?
Dan Lambert.
Yeah, not with Dan Lambert. Dan Lambert's spots were fine. I thought, and it's with the commentary too. With my thing with doing wrestling commentary and being a radio personality. Like, I understand, how you can affect that stuff. That, the toaster, it was invented in Minnesota. That's why it's there. Stop. Really,
right.
Really. It's 10:30 at night and I'm watching wrestling and I'm drinking. I don't care about where the toaster was.
I think that was another one of the problems I had with this match. I think if it would have been on earlier in the show, I probably would have cared for it just a tad more. But like you said, it's 10:30, 11. I had worked that day and had to work the next day. I was run out of steam. I legit and fell asleep before the women's match and then woke up during the entrances. Like after one match was over, I was just, all right, when's the next pow out? And then woke up. So I was running on fumes.
You don't expect Chris Jericho to be part of almost a gimmick match, a popcorn match, if you will, where you take a little break. And I mean, like, here's a prime example. That whole toaster thing I hated. Chris Jericho pulling out something that was the Prince symbol and hitting somebody with it freaking worked.
Yeah, like, that was funny.
The hockey stick stuff worked. But when you started getting into, what was it? The
water ski.
Or the bun cake.
The bun cake.
I never want a bun cake for the rest of my life after that stuff, where it kept on going into. Jay Hager's really beating somebody down with a cake pan. Jay Hager, come on.
Right. I think the other thing outside of the ridiculousness was the fact that when you have matches like this, where it's non-wrestlers versus wrestlers, you can cover up, depending on how good you are and who you are, you can cover up those shortcomings for guys that aren't trained, who aren't experienced. Like if this was just Junior Dos Santos and like Ethan Page versus Jericho and Hager, you could cover up a lot of Santos's shortcomings. That's the right word. You could cover up a lot of those shortcomings in a tag team match. But not only that, you had two very unexperienced people in this match. You had Junior Dos Santos and oh my gosh, Andrew Arlovsky. That's his name. Arlovsky. You can't cover up that is too much to carry, if you will.
And let's be clear, JDS didn't look bad. I thought he looked pretty decent for what he could bring. He had one of the spots that said, "Whoa, wait a second, you're kind of learning here."
Yeah, I think.
Hold on the story.
Yeah, like I heard it. I don't think anyone else heard it. But I heard when Jericho was going for the lion salt, he yelled for Dos Santos. And then Dos Santos hit him with the punch and knocked him out. And that's kind of my point. You can only carry someone so experienced and who doesn't have their timing down so far. And you had 2.5 people like that in this match.
Right.
The stuff with now that all being said, and like you said, all the silliness. The one thing I've loved about this feud, but it might have gone a little too long. And the one person I love in this feud is Dan Lambert.
Yes.
Because this man makes you want to punch him in the face.
He does.
And I've known, because I've listened to like his podcast outside of wrestling. He's very intelligent and he understands because he's a businessman. He's not an MMA He's not an MMA coach. He's not an MMA fighter who like retired and built a team. He was just a business guy who was like, I want to build a super team and make like super MMA fighters out of my gym. And that's what he did. He Tony Khan'd it. He took all of this money that he had from his other ventures and he went, all right, build me something. And with that much money, you can build anything. And that's where American Top Team came from. So I think he's a smart businessman. I think he's an even smarter manager because he knows people hate him. He knows he's not going to get over in this crowd because he's the MMA guy coming to pro wrestling. So why fight it? Why not lean into it and make him more hated?
And even, I mean, coming out with the old guy sweatsuit, like,
that was
great.
Gold.
It was
great. He
great.
looked like a absolute goofball, and it was perfect.
You look at all the guys, Junior Dos Santos and Scorpio Sky and all them, they're coming out like wrestlers.
Yeah.
He's coming out like he looks like he's going to try to have a fist fight, and it's like, you're so out of place. But it's funny, he did it on purpose.
Oh, perfect. Absolutely perfect. It reminds me of whenever Paul Heyman has a match and he comes out in that ridiculous tracksuit that he always wears. Because Paul Heyman let's be honest. And I love Paul Heyman to death. Paul Heyman ain't wearing that tracksuit anywhere else.
No,
He's not out here jogging before shows. No, he has that just to make it look like he owns athletic gear. And him coming out and that damn sweatsuit was perfect.
It was perfect. It was perfect, especially a red, white, and blue sweatsuit at that.
Oh yeah. The ending, I think the match went a little too long.
It did.
The other thing that I hated about this match, and I swear I'll stop dragging it down, was the fact that you first off, you already had a Falls Count Anywhere match, and this one you made it a street fight. Why have two street fights? I know why you would do it. It's because you're trying to cover up for the other guys, you know.
And
you teach him to throw weapons, and you can put like Dos Santos through a table without getting disqualified, and there you go. That's why you would have it as a promoter, but as a match like on the card, why the street fight? Why, it didn't make much sense for the story. And the ending just seemed to drag on.
Yeah, and I get it. I mean, Jericho was emotional. Eddie, he was very, very tight with Eddie Guerrero. It was the way he ended it with the frog splash, and I get that. But like even the spots like Sammy jumping off the ladder and stuff like it seemed just to be excess for the sake of excess.
I can agree with you there. But overall, I think I gave this match, just trying to be generous, I gave it a 6 out of 10. I'd probably say, looking at it again, 5.5 out of 10.
See, I gave it a 6.5, and I've been generous. Nobody's got lower than a 6.
Yeah.
I did like that match more than I was on the same par as the women's belt.
Yeah.
And I did like it more than the 4-man or the tag team match, but with 4 individuals with Pac and
right
and Cody.
I think if you had put this match, if you had switched like Miro and Danielson with this match,
yes,
and then moved the super click down a little farther, like if you put, here's how I would have done it. I would have put this where Miro and Danielson were. I would have put Punk and Eddie where Jurassic Express was. And then as soon as the women's match is over, you have this crazy street, Falls Count Anywhere match. Then you have the technical number 1 contenders match. Then you have the main.
That would have been cool.
That's how I would have done it. And it probably could have bumped this match up a little, especially after the crazy crap that the Falls Count Anywhere match did. It couldn't live up. It couldn't measure up compared to the other one. So that's why it gets such a low grade for me. But 6 out of 10. No, I think this was the worst match of the night. Then we move on to the main event. Oh my God. Hangman Adam Page versus Kenny Omega for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. 2 goddamn years of storytelling built to this.
How did you like Hangman's intro, man?
Oh, that was perfect. That was wonderful.
Right.
With all the little, the clips of him coming up short and just right. So, okay. So this is me being a detailed nerd. Does anyone know what Hangman's entrance theme is actually called?
I don't.
It is called Ghost Town Triumph. He literally rode his horse through a ghost town.
Oh, that's cool.
Because there was no one in that city. And you just like the tiny, tiny little bit of his music in the background while walking this horse through a city. Oh my God, it was perfect. And then God bless every single one of them. The Dark Order running across the skywalk. Shit, we're late. Run!
or as someone I was watching it with called him the Dork Wooder, which I thought was funny.
Oh my goodness.
But it was great. It was great.
They can't be heels because they're too lovable now. But my goodness, them running and then the camera finding Hangman as he walks through his literal AEW career. Oh my God. Whoever edited it, I love you. I love you so much.
They did such a great job.
But this match.
And you know what? Shout out to Don Callis. He adds so much. Even if it's not needed, he just does so well.
I love you, Don Callis. You know, people can say, you know, you're the. I saw a funny ass meme about Don Callis. It was the, can we have Paul Heyman? We have Paul Heyman at home, and then it's a picture of Don Callis.
Yes.
But my goodness, he is so good at just being hateable.
Yeah.
I compare, forgive me for anyone who's listening to this, I compare him to a used car salesman.
That's exactly what he's supposed to be.
That's what he is. He's this snake oil salesman who oh my goodness, he's the devil on the shoulder, and he is so goddamn good at what he does. Don Callis never change. I love you.
The way he dresses, the glasses, all he has to say to you is hi, and it can be the most friendly hi. And you're like,
I'm sure Don Callis is a great human being, and I hope to meet you one day. But good Lord, I want to punch you in the face.
It's so awesome.
He's so perfect.
Helps. I don't think Omega, at least right now, I mean, we know he can. I don't think he's this grotesque heel.
So I don't think he's not the MJF heel. He's not the God, I hope you get stabbed in a parking lot kind of heel. He's literally the I am the best in the world, and the only reason you hate me is because I am telling the truth. Because tell me who is better than me.
And yet I feel like when Bryan Danielson was doing that whole shtick with the WWE where he had the belt made up of all organic stuff and everything. It went over better than what Omega's doing. Now, Omega's not bad at it. It's just that Don takes it over the top. And Don is just the cherry on the sundae for me. Like, I think Kenny as this, I'm better than everyone in the world. Look at all of the things that I can do and have, especially when he was doing the belt collector shtick. Yeah.
Like, hate me because of all of this. Like, that was perfect. And then Don Callis is just like sprinkling more flavor on top. Perfect.
That's the perfect way to put it. He is the sprinkles on your ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Just makes it so much better. But with that being said, can we talk about what was it, Matt, that gave him the nod?
Not yet. We're getting there. I promise we're getting there. Oh my goodness, there was so much storytelling in this match. So much. And I love it. I love every single little bit of it. What I love, one of my little, I don't know what you would call it, because it's the opposite of a pet peeve. One of the little details I love in wrestling is when someone knows their opponent so well that they start stealing each other's shtick.
It's a small joy.
It's a small joy. Kenny teasing the buckshot, and then Hangman teasing the V trigger.
Yes.
So good. And I liked the pacing of this match because one, comparing it to another I am better than everyone heel, Roman Reigns. The thing I don't like about Roman matches is the fact that there is, say you have this like meter of this is your timeline for the match. When Roman is in control of the match, here is how much of the match he's in control of. And then you get like this small comeback at the end. With Kenny's match, it was like this. It was nice and cut up, where it was Kenny was over, then Hangman, then Kenny, then Hangman, then Kenny, then Hangman. And I think that is a credit to how good Kenny is as a heel and how good he is as a wrestler, that he didn't just beat Hangman down over and over and over and over, and then Hangman gets the magical, Hulk Hogan comeback.
I'd agree with that. It whenever you have a championship match where you really are, you win in there, Hangman has to win it, right? He has to win it. They can't make this guy not win it again. Are they really going to make this guy not win it again? Holy shit. Really? Omega's going to win? When you start doing that, they got you.
Yeah, exactly. So my theory, if you will, when this match was announced, I had two thoughts. A, Hangman has to win. B, if Hangman doesn't win, he has to kick out of the One Wing Angel. He's got to be the guy.
I was so mad Omega kicked out of it.
I love that. I love that. That was perfect to me.
As a fan, I'm mad. Stepping back, it was perfect.
But it was perfect because,
I'm better than you. You just did my move, and you didn't do it good enough to put me away.
I popped when he hit the One Wing Angel. Like, oh my God. I was like, he hit it, yes. And then Kenny kicked out, and I was like, well, no one kicks out of it when Kenny does it.
Right.
So, but when Kenny countering the buckshot with the V trigger was perfect. Hangman only getting caught in the One Wing Angel like 2 or 3 times. Like, no, not even 2 or 3. It was like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And that was smart. I think that what makes matches better for me isn't when you just hit a bunch of moves and you kick out at 2. What makes it better for me is when you counter moves that everyone wants to see. Kenny went for the you can't escape, went for the moonsault. Hangman puts the knees up because he knew it was coming. Hangman goes for the buckshot. Kenny hits the V trigger because he knows it's coming.
And they talked about how well they knew each other. I mean,
yes,
this whole pay-per-view was about the details.
Exactly.
And how well they went up. Even with Kenny coming out and having the one wing on his back.
That gear.
Like,
their gear was on.
It's so
on
great.
Point. Oh, it was so beautiful. I want that gear. Kenny countering the buckshot with the V trigger because he knew it was coming. Hangman countering with the V trigger. Hangman countering the V trigger with the rolling elbow because he knew it was coming. Like, them knowing each other was so perfect. I was kind of hoping Don Callis was going to eat shit during this match. Like, I was hoping he was going to catch, and he didn't have to like take a Canadian destroyer, but I was hoping like maybe he gets hit with a clothesline and takes the bump, or he gets hit with the boot. Kenny pulling the ref in front of him for the buckshot. Perfect.
And then Aubrey just sprinting down.
Oh, God bless you, Aubrey.
That was another big pop where I was. People going, yeah, Aubrey.
Mm-hmm. But then, like you said, Hangman like eyeing up Nick, and Nick just standing there. I'm not here. Don't worry about me. And it didn't lead to Kenny getting like the advantage. It just was a moment of Nick just being there. And then, like you said, Matt giving Hangman the nod. Oh my God, it was so good. It was so perfect.
And you're just like, oh, I can't wait till Wednesday. I cannot wait.
Yeah, absolutely. He just gives them the only thing that I did not like about this match. There's only one tiny detail. And I might be very out of my depth when I say this because I saw some post-match stuff, is the fact that Kenny didn't just kill himself on the bump from the buckshot. Like, I was expecting Kenny to do like 2 backflips from it, and he just took it stiff and bumped. Now, post-match, I heard that Kenny might be hurt, And literally, I found a video of him going to a chiropractor afterwards. So maybe Kenny couldn't take the crazy Kenny bump. That is my only gripe about this match, is that he didn't oversell the buckshot. Granted, he took a short arm earlier in the match, and it looked like he got decapitated. It was beautiful.
Yeah, he did.
So if that's my only gripe, that's a damn fine match. For me, the storytelling, the in-ring stuff, the pacing, match of the night, 9 out of 10.
You know what? Yeah, I mean, now that I think about it, I mean, it was just such a great way to end the whole pay-per-view. And it wasn't a whole bunch of high-flying, holy crap moves. No, it was just great wrestling. Great wrestling.
Absolutely.
Great storytelling.
Amazing storytelling.
You know, I do like it when you do get some raw emotion. And you saw, you know, Paige holding the belt and borderline tearing up because it means you're the top guy now. Like, that's awesome when you get a chance to see that.
Yep. And the just the icing on the cake for the storytelling, the Dark Order coming out, greeting Hangman, offering him the beer, which he immediately smacks out of the way and embraced the Dark Order.
Yeah, man.
Oh my God. AEW, stop making me feel things. Oh my God. So good. So good. Like I said, match of the night for me, 9 out of 10.
So let me ask you. I mentioned that I was going to ask you this before.
Okay.
You talked about matches where you knew who was going to win, right? You knew, you know, and I feel like that's where almost, you know, everybody knew Hangman has to win. Like this is
that's the difference. Hangman had to win. We weren't sure if he was going to win, but he had to win. He needed the win.
What match result in your long history of watching wrestling was the most surprising to you? Where you were like, wait, what? I could tell you mine's. And I actually liked it when it happened just because it was so shocking. When they gave Jinder Mahal the belt.
No, I'm not going to.
Now, he was a terrible champ.
Because I went into that going, there's no possible way oh my God, they did it. Why? Why did we do this? Stop doing this.
But here's the whole thing. It had nothing to do with him as a champ. For the next 2 years, it was like you really didn't know because you're like, all right, WWE might be off the rocker. Like I'm not saying I liked it the most, but it was the most shocking kind of result to me. Because I didn't see that coming. No one saw that. Why would you give the belt to Jinder Mahal? What are you doing?
Right.
They did it.
I think for me, the most shocking victory, just off the top of my head, just, you know, not diving deep into the memories, would have to be either AJ Styles versus John Cena or Kevin Owens versus John Cena. Because the first time AJ beat him, everyone thought, oh God, you know, John's going to beat AJ. And then that's all that's ever going to happen with AJ. He lost to John Cena, might as well just leave the company. And then he beat Cena. And he beat Cena clean.
Yeah.
The crazier one was Kevin Owens beating John Cena clean, middle of the ring as NXT champion. Like, going into that match, I thought for sure Cena was winning. I didn't even have a sliver of a doubt that John Cena was gonna lose. And then Kevin Owens pins him middle of the ring.
And that one was one where it was surprising, it was shocking, and I was really happy about it. Like, because I'm a huge I love Kevin Owens. You know. Let's thought we were talking about, you know, kind of knowing where a match is going to go and stuff. Thought it was an interesting question to ask you.
No, I appreciate it. But overall, what are you rating this show? What are we grading AEW Full Gear?
I mean, to me, I give it an 8 out of 10. It's not a 9. It's not a 10. Even if you want to bump it down to a 7.5, I mean, but to me, it was a solid B. B to B minus, and that's good. It was solid. It was a solid, fun show.
I
It
think
wasn't.
I would do the same. I would say either B or B. I would lean towards B plus just because the finish.
Yeah.
But B. This wasn't an A show. This didn't need to be an A show. And all of the funny story was all the opening matches were really, really good. And then I'm over here going, I need to catch my breath. Like, can we have a dud for? And then we did. But ending the note on a high note, and none of the matches, even the lower tier ones, weren't bad. They just weren't great. So I would give it a B or a B plus.
Yeah. And I mean, for me, it's one of those things where it was a great setup pay-per-view. And what I mean by that is it's not like, WrestleMania is known for it ties up a bunch of loose ends.
Yep.
Full Gear was one of those pay-per-views where you're like, oh man,
what's about to happen now?
Right. I'm seeing the wave now, but the wave has not hit the beach yet.
Exactly.
And that's a sign of a great pay-per-view. All right. Hangman Page finally has the belt. How long is he going to hold on to it? What's
gonna happen on Wednesday?
Right. And with just about every single match, I will give it to you that Minneapolis street fight, not so much. Mm-hmm. But you're kind of leaving like, all right, so what's going to happen with this one? What's going to happen with that one? What's going to happen? You're invested in
right. Oh, absolutely. All in all, I'd say it's a great show. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us for Kirbside Podcast. Our first pay-per-view review since our inception. A little fun fact for you, Shiek. Our first episode ever was a Royal Rumble prediction. Then our second ever episode was the Royal Rumble results. So here we are, little over a year. Well, yeah, over a year later, almost 2 years later, bringing back the pay-per-view review. Thank you for joining me, my friend. Where can the nice people find you on the social media?
So you can find me at Shiek Styles, and that is SheikStyles. Find me there, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I also am the owner of a YouTube page, Retro Styles Gaming. There's a few videos up there that you will see a whole lot more that are coming up that kind of talk about, stories about video games, both old and some new stuff too. So it's a lot of fun stuff. It's not something where you're going to feel bored or it's like hot takes. No, it's story stuff that you really will enjoy and hopefully brings up a little memories of your childhood. But I do have a question for you, one J Kirby.
Yes, sir.
You're going to be tuned into Survivor Series?
Of course.
Does that mean the 22nd? Are we expected a Survivor Series? You're setting the bar, man. Just saying.
We'll see. We'll see what the Kirbside Podcast can do as far as the Survivor Series review. But I'm definitely interested to see what happens.
In the business, we call that putting someone on the spot. Hey, it's been my pleasure. Please invite me back anytime.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, everyone, for watching. As always, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, tap the little bell on your YouTube app so you never miss an upload, and buy the merch at prowrestlingtees.com. And we will see you guys soon.
Absolutely.
So, the party, we are at the next day. We have loaded up, we've prepped, we've eaten breakfast, and the party is ready to head out into Black Bog Swamp in search of the provider.
All right.
Going off the information that Nat's sister told you guys, you know that somewhere in Black Bog Swamp there is a old magical being known as the Provider. Also, from the party's knowledge of the centaurs, you know that Black Bog Swamp in the past has been, I don't know if controlled's the right word, but inhabited by the sisters. And that is the only thing that you really know about Black Bog Swamp. Last time the party, I believe minus V, went to Black Bog Swamp, you guys went on the edges of Black Bog Swamp. You didn't really get into the heart of it. So this trip will be different. You will go further. The journey will take a little longer. And if everybody's ready, we shall begin.
Well, at least this time it's not get there, get back within a time frame.
Yeah, no, you don't. You don't have not a direct time frame.
Yeah, we don't have a hey, return in 2 days or else.
Yeah. You're not filling a contract with this. This is more of a personal errand.
You mean that time you guys were gone for 3 years? Or was that a different contract?
4 years.
Different contract, but no, you're
Okay.
about, that's where it all started.
Wait.
All right, guys. Well, day one, it's going to be uneventful because it's going to be the time that it takes you guys to leave Brine. What you do notice upon leaving Brine, you're starting to see postings go up about an upcoming election.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
There appears to be rumors and speculation about an upcoming election for the Chamberlain of Brine to replace the vacancy that is left with the sudden disappearance of Ephraim Regas.
Hey, Tim.
Yes.
Okay, I hate to be annoying, but on as we leave town and get further to the outskirts, does it get shadier by any chance? Are there street urchins and stuff going on or anything? Or?
Not so much.
Street rat.
The roads leading into Brine are actually well patrolled. It would be difficult unless you're specifically looking for some street urchins.
Yeah, I was just wondering if there's okay, so when we get back, right, and this might just be me being paranoid, but I kind of want to plan for when we get back if there's people that might have information when we get back, so if anything major changes, we're not just walking blind in the city. Maybe there's some people who, hang out in the outskirts and just kind of see things, and maybe that's one of their useful haunts, and they'll
Hear the news of the town.
yeah, stick around with information.
So you mean the opposite of what happened last time?
I don't know. Maybe there's something. Maybe there's
The one time we came back to Brine and everything was different?
Shady beggar people or kids running around or anything.
Roll an investigation.
That's gonna be bad. 18. No modifiers.
You find a couple of kids playing on the side of the road, just outside of the city limits.
Alright. It's fine. I'll keep playing. No, I was looking for something specific, but it just doesn't seem like it. If it's a well-patrolled area, then I know.
And I'm not even gonna make you roll for it. You get that a lot of the seedy elements are starting to be kind of driven out of Brine, and that maybe in years gone by, it would have been easier. And if you want information or a broker on that kind of level, you got to know the right people.
Okay. Times have changed.
Yes.
That's fine.
So as you guys are leaving, once again, you are seeing some simple construction put up of what looks like honest just platforms in preparation of possibly public debates.
Ooh.
That kind of thing. You see a construction. It disturbs you at first because you're kind of like, are they building scaffolding? But it's like, no, it's just like a public gathering platform.
Is it a gallows?
Yeah. That's your first
knows?
thought, but you notice that there's a lot of like political like banners and stuff are being postings are being put up, and a couple familiar names come across as far as people who apparently are very interested in running. So,
Torin whispers Kraus, what are the chances a Copper Dragonborn could get elected?
I'd vote for it.
I'd vote for him.
Well,
Hey.
that's two more than I expected.
Tim.
Tim.
Oh, man.
Oh, dear God. Go ahead, Taruk.
yeah, Taruk, what do you got, man?
Taruk wants him in his name.
Okay, guys.
I don't think it's that kind of election, guys.
There's nobody.
This is D&D.
Yeah. This is all right. Get out of the fucking town.
No, I'm not stopping. I only said it in passing.
Yeah, no, I got you. You guys, there's nobody as far as like an organizer per se. You get that they're just preparing, and that there's obviously going to be like probably an open public forum for them to actually take, hey, who is interested in running? We will be accepting, with the experience of the last Chamberlain, they're definitely making this. There'll be a vetting process as to who can run.
Are you a violent murderer?
Right, background checks of a little more intense nature.
You don't say.
In the few people that you do stop and talk to, there's like, well, it would be, we're weeks away from this, but we're, obviously preparing for, we will be having basically an open election for the vacancy of Chamberlain. So you guys, if you are interested in running, there will be a time for that.
All right.
Tim,
Taruk Podfist.
unrelated
Chamberlain
question.
Podfist.
Oh, dear Lord. Are we just strolling like last time, or are we actually in a cart?
I had you guys on foot. You never mentioned a cart.
I mean, yeah, I figured since nobody mentioned it that you guys walked last time.
We did walk last time. Well, we had a cart, but most of us walked last time.
Well, how far is the bog? Because I feel like once we actually get to the bog, the cart's not going to do as much good.
Yeah, just to get there is just going to be a couple days. And,
okay.
and then once you're in there, they've never gone. I told, that's why I was kind of telling you guys at the beginning, you kind of only went on the outskirts originally.
Right.
Well, shit. On the outskirts of Brine. I mean,
I think you're Lord of Ringsing this. I think you guys are on foot.
I mean, I figured.
That's fine. I was just curious.
Mm-hmm.
If we were in the cart, I was going to try to read the tone. But if we're walking, that's not a good idea.
If you're walking,
Mm-hmm.
what I'm going to do, if you're intent on reading, maybe during travel time, I'm going to make you do a couple skill checks to,
Make sure I don't fall
Are
off
there
the
any,
road
like,
because I'm
last
reading.
minute, like, vendors anywhere? Like horses for sale? We could buy some horses. Take them.
That's not a big deal. I was just curious.
I feel like walking's going to be the most reliable method of
We can walk for a change. It's
Oh, yeah.
fine. Let's just go.
We're good.
Let's just walk.
all right. So Tariq, I apologize. Torin,
No, you're good.
please let me know when you're reading and what. if there will be patches of time where we kind of jump
Right.
forwards because the safety of being near cities, there's not too much in the way that's going to challenge you guys anyway.
Right.
Right. And there's probably inns and stuff on the way we can stay at.
I got you.
So let me know when you're reading, and we'll just do a skill check to see if you can read and kind of walk with the party and make sure you don't fall on your face and stuff like that.
Right.
I'll guide him if that helps.
That's
He can
fair.
hold my arm. He can hold my arm and I'll walk him.
There you go. That'll help.
V was smart. She did not wear high heels. Yeah, actually, that is the thing you guys noticed. He's actually wearing like flat, still very pretty, but like flat black leather boots, and like not a full length gown, but it's like a shorter knee length dress. Like it's pretty, but it's not fancy.
There you go.
Still has the veil on though, like a dark red beaded veil. And if you're reading, she can definitely offer her arm out. And you can, she'll guide you so you can walk into trees.
There you go.
Appreciate it.
Pretty much the first day of travel goes by like that, because once again you're on pretty much patrolled roads and you're heading north. There will come a point where you leave the main roads and that you really start heading into like the wooded areas and you start heading further north towards Black Bog Swamp. But for the first day, it's fair weather for the time of year it is. You're in the back tail of winter, if you're curious. But fair weather, and the road on the first day, it's not hard. Soren, I'm gonna say that trying to read while walking is very difficult. So I'm gonna kind of cut your time down a little, because
Okay.
that's a skill.
That's fair.
Roll me a d20 and add your wisdom.
Wonderful.
And if the help action will help if I'm helping him, if it helps.
I'm keeping that in mind. That's why he's not rolling at disadvantage.
Mhm.
Because you got to think of the idea of walking somewhere and reading. It's not easy.
That's a nat 20.
Oh, nice.
Great
Okay.
time for that nat 20.
Right?
It is. Because that got you 6 hours
Nice.
of reading in a day, which isn't bad considering.
Right. No, that's good. I'm alright with that.
You can mark that off.
Fancy.
What'd you say, V?
Oh, so I didn't fancy you for a reader to report. Oh gosh, that sounded so rude. I'm sorry.
That's
It's
okay, I just did it.
it's okay, V.
I'm like, oh gosh, that was rude. Oh.
I'm not known for my scholastic endeavors.
Day one proceeds fairly uneventful. You guys stay on the main roads. Nothing out of the ordinary. You actually do see a few of the Crown's Guard that do patrol the main roads. A couple on horseback. Nothing out of the ordinary. Taruk, when you were away for a second, I never got a chance to tell you, that night before you guys left, you didn't have the best sleep in the world. You still kept hearing whispers. The whispers have continued on this first day. And the only thing that you're getting is your name. And from time to time, you'll look around, and now you're starting to kind of get a little on edge about it. But you're not saying anything immediately. You kind of check to see if V was talking or if Nat was talking, and they weren't. And you're just like, okay, it's not them. And that's it for day one.
God, first two.
You guys, in the first day, you make pretty good time, and you camp off to the side of the main roads. Very uneventful, nothing particular for that first day. So unless there's anything in specific that you guys are trying to RP or do, we're gonna keep rolling. Okay. Day two comes around. Torin will go ahead and get this done early. It's going to be a little bit harder now because now you guys are starting to head further north and you're heading through the you're heading towards the bog.
Alrighty.
So, roll me again with V, kind of like guiding you.
Right.
Roll me a d20 and add your wisdom modifier.
17.
Okay. You get about half of the day goes by, and you get what equates to about 2 hours on that tome.
Does he have to actually like be the one to read it, or would having it read to him work?
Nope.
Okay.
He has to read it. So you guys on day 2, you veer off of the main roads and you start heading further north and the trek becomes a little slower. You're now going through more dense forest areas. And you guys who made the trip before, you do remember this part. You remember that it was kind of, the forest got a little more denser, and then roughly about a half a day into that, you guys started to hit the bog, and the outskirts of the bog anyway. So at this point, Nat stepped away, but what I need is somebody to go ahead and roll me survival check as far as navigating your way through.
Oh no! We need that.
Yep, you sure do, but she's
Do we
not.
know where she went? Maybe it's worth waiting a minute or two. She didn't fall asleep, did she? Did she like go down?
No, I think she actually just stepped away.
Okay, I'm gonna run downstairs for a quick second, and then hopefully she's back.
Okay. What'd you say, George?
Said I'm not the warlock for survival checks, so.
Are we waiting for Nat? I mean, I have +4 in survival. Like, I have no problem.
Go ahead, Taruk, because this
Go
isn't.
for it.
You're not right out on the edge of an encounter. You can go. You can do.
Okay.
Go ahead and do this if you want.
That's trash. Nat 1. Damn it.
Oh, sweet buddy. Thank you.
Lord, I thought I was gonna roll that.
Okay.
I didn't even want to
no,
roll.
that's worth it. I'm gonna wait for the girls for that.
That's worth it. Great.
Great.
We waiting on the girls for?
No, don't worry. I'll tell you.
Oh, joy.
We're all gonna
What did you
die.
idiots do?
No.
No. We'll give you a guess of who messed this one up, and the first 2 don't count.
Metagas, you son of a bitch.
Nope. Metagas knew better than to roll the survival check for getting you guys through the forest.
What I missed?
Oh,
Taruk
yeah.
rolled a 1.
Yes, that's what you mean.
And why did Tarek roll a 1?
Because Nat was hiding from Taruk.
Oh, the disapproved.
Nat was daydreaming while they were walking, and Taruk took the lead on getting through the forest and rolled a
Taruk, the
1.
big boy.
Oh,
Okay. Well, alright, let's see if. Alright.
Okay, now that everybody's here, Taruk took
Sorry,
the
I
lead
did-
for the first survival check of the trip and rolled a natural 1.
Okay.
After a few hours, Nat, you notice that you swear you've seen this this half-burnt dead tree before. Matter of
We're
fact,
walking in circles.
fairly sure it's the 3rd time you've seen it today. So, a little bit of wasted time there.
oh no.
If somebody would like to roll another survival check to see if
I
you
will.
get you guys going in the right direction.
Torin just.
Poor
I will.
Taruk.
You tried, big guy, and I'm proud of you.
Proud of you for trying.
23.
23. And with that, Nat, with her ranger abilities, no problem
Ranger.
whatsoever finding north. And no problem whatsoever. Guys, this way. And you guys get back on track. A little bit of time wasted on day 2. It reaches nightfall, and you still haven't quite gotten to the edge of the bog yet. So you do have to camp another night before even making it to Black Bog Swamp. I'm gonna go ahead and we got a little bit of an RP moment here. You guys make camp on night 2. I'm gonna go ahead and ask you guys for watches.
Okay.
Exhausted. But she brought pillows for everyone, so everyone has a fluffy pillow.
There you go.
I'll take
Everyone has
first
a fluffy
watch.
pillow. There's like dishes for the rations and like glassware for water that we have.
Nice.
I'll take second.
Who's got first?
Nat.
Nat. Torin. Who's third?
I'll go third.
Okay, so I'll say Corrales and Taruk will take third, and Metagast stays up with whoever because Metagast doesn't sleep.
Right.
All right, watch number 1. Roll me a perception check if you would.
I will gladly do that. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Nat, as everybody else kind of starts to bed down for the evening, you kind of do like a quick little patrol around the campsite. You don't venture out too far, just to kind of do a circle around, make sure, you know.
Like a perimeter
just a
check.
Perimeter check. Yeah, you got it. Nothing dangerous per se. You do come across a strange bush, however, and which you swear, go ahead and roll me a perception check, but what it looks like to you, they look like very large blueberries.
Actually, could I actually does it have to be a perception, or could I possibly do a nature check to see if maybe
go
this
ahead and do
thing
nature on that. Yeah, I'll give you that.
18.
18, not bad. Well, first thing you notice, and the first thing that you know as a ranger to look around for, doesn't appear to be any dead animals near it. So that's good. You then take a closer look. These blueberries are about the size of Taruk's fist. They're like
Lord.
large, like baseball size.
Wow.
But for all intents and purposes, looks like a blueberry. 18 on the nature check. You don't recognize it immediately. It's not something that you came across before, but just from taking a good look around, and you kind of inspect the bush, you do notice that a couple of these blueberries, like I said, you notice that you have been bitten out of by bugs, stuff like that, and you don't see anything dead around it, so you're fairly certain they're not dangerous or poisonous.
Could I possibly harvest like maybe 2 of these and at least bring them back to the camp? That way, like when it's a little bit more light out, have a better investigation.
Yeah, I'll say with your nature check, you get 3 of them.
Okay.
So when she comes back to the campsite, I'm gonna stay up for a little bit. She's doing first watch, right? I'm gonna stay up for a little bit of her watch and spends a good 30 minutes brushing her hair, washing her face, doing the whole thing.
Yeah.
So neural stat and sleeping back. Before I go to sleep, I want to ask her anything around that we shouldn't touch. Do you find anything poisonous right off the bat that we shouldn't mess with?
Well, just checking around the perimeter, everything looks up to par. Didn't see anything dead, like anything that looks like it ate something and like died right away. I found these blueberries that's about a size of Taruk.
And she holds up, and basically what I described. You see this, what looks exactly like a blueberry, except it's about the size of Taruk's fist. It's like apple size.
Wow.
But I would feel a little bit better, like once we have more light in the morning, just to know for sure, because I don't want to get anybody sick.
All right, just knowing what to stay away from. I'm gonna settle into my satin sleeping bag and fall asleep.
Good night, V.
It is magically always the perfect temperature. I think I bought this back in like episode 2.
Yep.
Like a satin sleeping
Yeah, I
bag.
could use something like that for real.
I can use it when I'm well.
Like in real life, man.
Oh yeah.
But that's it,
But
Nat.
I put the one foot
Okay.
out of the blanket.
Nothing else out of the ordinary. Just the strange blueberry bush that you came across.
Okay, so I can handle that.
Watch number 2.
That's me.
Well, go ahead and roll me a perception, sir.
The blueberry bush attacks.
Oh God.
Attacking the killer blueberries.
That's an 8.
An
Best
8.
rated horror
Yeah.
ever.
Oh no.
You know, it's been a strange day the other day, and you're still kind of thinking about losing your coin purse to scamming kobolds.
Kobolds.
You and Nat are in a weird place. And then Pisma nearly beat the crap out of you training you. And then there's what to do about this curse. And then you turn about 5 shades of red and then shake yourself out of it.
Are you okay?
You're asleep.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if like he was coming. If he had already relieved me or not. I'm sorry.
Yep, no, this is into his watch.
Okay, gotcha. My bad.
You say in your dreams, are you okay?
Mm. Yeah, actually, yeah, that sounds kind of like me.
That's it. You don't notice anything else.
I don't think I could. After the few days that Torrin's gone through.
It's been a rough couple days, man. Watch number 3, which I believe is Corrallos and Taruk. Before we get there, Taruk, in the middle of your sleep, it's a little restless at first. It kind of takes you a minute to get situated. And then it's right in that little twilight time, right before you know you're asleep, but you know you're on your way. Taruk. Just the whisper of your name. That's it. What do you do, buddy?
Corrales is next to me, right?
Yeah, you're both asleep, but yeah. Well, I don't know. I assume he's asleep. Yeah, like I said, you're kind of in that in between, and you keep hearing that whisper in the.
I'm gonna sit up. I'm just gonna look around, and I'm gonna wake Corrales up.
All right,
Nudge him.
Corrales, you are roused awake from a little bit of a pat from your buddy. What do you want?
Corrales, I can't sleep, so which means you can't sleep either. So come on, let's go take the next watch.
Why can't you sleep?
Hold on. Come walk over this way, away from there. Metagas. Go
Huh? What?
check the perimeter over there. Go that way.
Okay.
Quietly.
You can't make plate armor quiet, buddy. It's kind kind of the drawback to plate armor.
Torn's
he
kind
does.
Torn's kind of looking at the dome. What's up, Metagast?
Yeah, natural 1 too. Yeah, Metagast is really seeing things out there.
Oh.
Corrales, listen, I don't know what is going on, but I just feel off, man. I don't know. Last night I thought maybe it's because I was drinking too much or somebody was messing with me. I don't know, but I keep hearing something.
What? What are you hearing?
It's like a voice keeps calling my name, but every time I look up, nothing's there. At first, I thought it was me. It wasn't her. I thought it was Nat. Wasn't her. Not Tor, not you, not anybody. I don't know.
You're hearing it now?
I just heard it just before I woke you up.
We have a campfire, table talk. We have a campfire going, yes?
Yeah.
Can I use control flames to double the brightness just in case there's anybody around?
Sure. It kind of engulfs out just a little bit, not in an unsafe way, but kind of lights up a little more. Go ahead and roll perception checks.
14.
14. Drew? And Torin, technically this is your watch.
I was gonna say the fire just got brighter all of a sudden.
Yep.
I got a 7.
16.
With the 14 and 16, you guys don't see anything. There's a moment of still quiet. And it's a little eerie because even with the sound of the wind, it's kind of like it's very quiet. And then in the stillness and in the quiet of the night, you hear, "Oh!" I'm okay.
Metagas.
Where's Metagast?
What?
You asked him to go do a perimeter check, and all you heard was the clanging of his armor, and then him yelling out, "I'm okay."
Oh dear.
He wants to kind of shake, not awake, but just kind of throw a rock.
Right.
Fuck.
I don't see anyone through.
You rolled a natural 1.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Oh, Metagas.
You see as he comes back, and you see as the plate armor is actually kind of got these weird, almost like paintball splotches of big blue splotches of where he fell into the blueberry bush.
Well, they tripped those blueberries.
Well, at least we know they can't kill him.
I put my hand on Metagas's shoulder,
Sorry,
and I just looked him up and down.
I didn't
Metagas.
see that root sticking out of the ground there.
I can tell, and we heard you. Listen to me. Something funny is going on with me right now. I need you laser focused and to be laser quiet. Just stand here.
What's a laser?
Tim, since I'm awake, can I hear any of this?
Yeah, they're not whispering.
I like to think it's torn at the fire, and then 2 or 3 feet down, it's Tarun
That's literally what this.
It's just right here.
Yeah. Literally what's happening.
Just Metagas. I'll tell you what a laser is later. Just know it's something that can, if you had eyeballs, it would melt your eyeballs out of its sockets.
I had not a dream.
All right. Just shh. Quiet. Laser focus. Anyway. Corrales.
Charuk.
Something's going on. You need to help me figure it out.
Whose voice are you hearing?
I have no idea. If I knew that, would I be asking you, Smarty Pants? No. Don't think so. You
You've
need
never
to
heard
do.
it before tonight?
It sounds familiar, but I can't pinpoint it. Again, the first that came to mind was it was V or Nat, but it wasn't them.
Because they're
You know,
both
and-
asleep.
Jordan, shut up and read your book. I don't know. I don't know.
Who could it be, Taruk?
Well, Taruk, I believe you if it makes you feel any better.
Thanks, Torrin. It does. It does.
I mean, you're not the first person in this party to be plagued by nightmares or weird visions. Maybe instead of seeing weird shit, you hear weird shit.
Maybe, but I don't know if I can handle this. Like, I'll have to, like, pluck my ears out or something. I don't know. But, Tim,
Big, strong, mighty Taruk will be taken down by a bodiless voice.
I don't think so, but I don't know, man. It's bugging me out, all right? Like, it isn't. I'm trying to figure it out. I can't. Maybe if I listen, I can hear it again, and then maybe I can figure it out. 'Cause it seems to be when I'm distracted, really. So maybe that's why I don't really know. You know, maybe if I focus, maybe it'll happen. You think that'll work?
Can't hurt to try.
All right. I'm gonna close my eyes and I'm gonna be laser focused. You
What's a
look
laser?
out. Shut. Shh. All right. Here we go. Taruk closes his eyes, Tim, and I just try to concentrate. I take a deep breath in and exhale.
Do a seance?
I'm just gonna look at Taruk and then look at Torin and kind of shrug.
Take a deep breath. Inhale and exhale out. The forest has grown quiet. You got the slight rustling of leaves off in the distance. The creaking of Metagas's armor. Nat snoring. Nothing. There's no whisper.
Damn it. It's not working. I don't know, man.
Should I take another?
No, I guess. No, just
No.
I try to like clean the blueberry off him. It just ends up
Right.
smearing.
Now this is blue streaks across his. Yeah.
Just stay put, man. I guess it's okay.
I really
Well-
think that maybe I should replace this eventually. You know, something that maybe works a little better.
Eventually.
I was gonna suggest that when we left town. I didn't even think about it.
Well,
You say in your sleep.
we'll figure it out later.
No, Madagascar, you're so loud.
Sorry.
Anyway,
It's okay, you're cute.
Tweedledee and Tweedledum. It's don't worry, Corrales, you Tweedledee. It's y'all's turn.
Lewis Carroll
Yes,
doesn't
Torin
exist
gets-
in my world.
Oh, damn.
Well, fine. Corrales and Dum Dum.
I mean, it's fine, Torrin. It's not like you were watching
Although,
out
wait
for
a
us
second, isn't
anyway.
it public domain? So maybe he could. Anyway.
Did Disney do it? Then yes, it's public domain first.
Yeah. Anyway, continue. We head to the third watch. Torin goes to sleep, and you guys, if you don't mind, give me one more perception check to get us to morning.
Oh, am I last or?
Those two are. I think you got the night off.
Oh, okay, cool.
Let's go. Ooh, let's go. 19.
19, and what'd you get, Kraus?
14.
14. Nothing too much out of the ordinary. You guys take a walk around. You do find the destroyed bush from Mitigad. You also avoid the route that honestly was kind of sticking out a little far, and you could see how somebody could trip over it if they weren't paying attention. So, but no, beyond that.
Tim.
And
There you go.
There we are.
But other than that, you don't find or see anything, and no more disembodied voices for the night, Taruk. So we make it to morning. First light comes. You guys are 2 days into your journey, and nothing.
V doesn't wake up. She's still sleeping.
Oh, okay. I have this image of V wearing like those, like the eye cover, the eye cover.
The sleep mask.
binder.
Yes.
The
She's got
sleeping
like
mask.
yeah, like a fucking like a thing laid over her eyes. It smells like
Right.
weird.
The last thing you hear is, I think it might wash off, but I really just think it would be better to get new armor. I really do. Anyway, you guys, you get to the morning, pack up camp, and
Blueberries edible.
I don't know. Have you tried them yet?
Can I check and see if they're poisoned?
With your yeah, go ahead and roll me a d20 and add your proficiency modifier.
18 plus 4.
22. They are not poisonous.
That-
Matter of fact, you believe that you have you between you and Nat, you are nearly 100% certain these things are edible and would do for food.
Breakfast. He's gonna eat a couple.
Uh,
Oh, they're
upon-
big, aren't they?
They are big. Yes.
V cuts one in half.
You actually get a nice. It's like what you expected. It's almost like a blueberry type texture. I'm trying to explain this in terms of game terms, and that now you know that these things are positive. Basically, what you figure out is these things are actually very good, and they have some healing properties to them.
Ooh.
You weren't missing any hit points, but you get that slight sensation that you get from when you guys down health potions. It's very similar sensation.
Oh, shoot. We should probably take some of these with us.
I agree. I think that's a fantastic idea.
Can Nat teach me how to Can I ask Nat to teach me how to harvest things, like how to properly harvest plants? While we're on this journey, can she start teaching me that?
We could work on that. I think what we're looking for there is maybe you could teach her a couple things as far as, and I'm guessing that this just on the fly. Let's do a performance check do a survival check by V. Nat, you do
Yeah.
the performance check.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh,
This,
It's a flat 14 for survival. Oh wait, no, survival's a wisdom thing, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
I actually might have a modifier to that.
Oh, I don't have a modifier for my performance, but I still squeak a 15.
Oh, I get a +3 to survival, so that's
Nice.
17.
17. Okay, between the two of you, that has kind of equaled out here. She does. And she does teach you the basics between kind of inspecting berries and plants and finding easy ways to find the toxic natures in them, or what if they're edible. that kind of thing. Some berries are berries, but they're not exactly edible. Some are poisonous, blah, blah, blah. And she kind of just some of the basics of what she knows. And
Be kind of like, she gets like a surprised look, like, oh, wow, thank you.
And maybe if we do this a few more times, there may be something that comes out of it. If you guys want to continue this.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'd love to, if she doesn't mind.
Okay.
It's a very useful skill.
Okay. I believe we are on day 1. Was this
Three,
day
I think.
2? We're day 3. Beginning of day 3.
Mhm.
How many berries did you
And you guys start to make.
I got 3.
get? 3? Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. The blueberries. Yeah, you got 3 of them. You guys start to make your way further north. Matter of fact, someone make me a survival check.
Someone, I wonder who.
Not true.
Pendergast, obviously.
21.
God. Why didn't we get him leather armor?
21.
21.
Very good. Not hard to find north, not hard to find a decent trek that's kind of avoiding brambles and entanglements and underbrush, and you do find a fairly easy time of it to go further north, and you do reach the outskirts of Black Bog Swamp, and you notice how the forest kind of starts to give way to more muddy terrain, a little more kind of like mossy growth in certain areas. You're starting to see more toadstools and puddles and less forest, more swamp. Torin, are you still reading?
Yes, as
Okay.
best I can.
This is gonna be tough, so go ahead and give me your D20 plus whiz.
Ugh. That's 7.
7. Don't get much reading done, man. Every time you start to read, your foot gets caught in like a mud puddle, and you go, and you're like, oh crap. And every time you start, like, okay, I'm good.
trying.
Yeah, you're trying, and that's why he's not rolling at disadvantage.
Yes, he's like apologizing to him, like, oh gosh, sorry, I didn't see that one. Oh,
Yeah, you're starting to like, stump, hit your shin, you're like, oh crap, like stuff like that. It's
walking straight.
tough going, and for the most of that day, you can't get much reading done, at least in the beginning of the day.
Wonderful.
Here is where things are gonna. I want somebody in the party. Roll me a d10 and tell me what you get.
Here, I got you.
Who's doing it?
I'll roll.
All right.
That's a 1.
A 1.
Oh, balls.
We don't blame you for this.
Oh Lord.
No, we don't. We blame the dice.
Blame the dice.
All right. Moving forward, you guys hear as you're heading further north, further deeper into the fog, you hear raised voices.
Humanoid?
Right now you can't make it out. You hear 2 voices going back and forth. You can hear a conversation happening, but you can't hear exactly the wording yet. You're a little farther off.
Is there trees, or are they like small trees, or is there like trees coming out of the swampy bits?
It's sporadic. It's a lot of trees, but it's like as far as size goes, it's varying. What
Would
are
they
you looking for?
be easy to kind of, is there like stealth capability? Like if I were to get in the bushes or the trees, would there be stealth possibility?
Yeah, if you want a stealth check, you trying to climb up the tree to
Yeah,
take a
I
look?
was thinking maybe I could get some sight going, see if I can see what the voices are from higher up.
Yeah, okay. Oh, so the first roll I'll have you do is a stealth check.
I'm gonna show Torin. I'm gonna kind of like point and tell him, like, we hear something. I'm gonna try to go look. And you said the first one was the acrobatics or the spell?
Do stealth first, then we'll do the acrobatics.
Okie dokie. Jesus Christ. That's a 26.
Yeah. Okay, so
V vanishes.
yeah, V goes. She vanishes into the canon of another D&D campaign. No problem whatsoever. Like moving but making zero sound, and you guys see this just gone. Acrobatics check to get up the tree.
A 16.
16. Not hard to see. Basically, what you see over here is there's kind of like a rise. It's not even big enough to call a hill. There's just like an embankment. But you see just over it, you see two very large humanoids talking. Do you speak Giant?
Oh, probably not. I'm gonna say no. Yeah, Dwarvish, Elvish.
So all you hear is.
Oh, since we fought the hill giant, though, do I recognize them as giants?
You see them from the back. They look very large.
Okay, I can assume they're similar.
It's tough to tell from here. Roll me investigation to take a closer look at them.
That's a 3.
3. Oh, they're big.
There's some big dudes.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna stealth back down the tree and try to pop out next to Torin without him.
So basically, Torin, you're like talking, and then all of a sudden you look over and V's there.
Don't do that.
What?
Just appear out of nowhere. It's a good way to get hit with a morning star.
Try it, I dare you. We should be a little quiet. Two large things.
Like larger than me or larger than the big guy?
It's hard to tell. Taruk, maybe bigger.
Much larger than Taruk.
Oh, okay, I wasn't sure if I could tell or not. You kind of
you
implied
can
I
tell.
couldn't.
Yes, much larger than Taruk.
Oh, okay. Very, very, very large. Sort of like the thing that was eating the pumpkins.
Oh. Well,
Are they nice? Are they people? Are they people?
Taruk, this is your specialty. I believe Goliaths and giants are similar? We'll go with similar.
So we shouldn't murder them in cold blood.
Well, no, we shouldn't just go swinging. That's how we almost died last time.
Well, they're over there.
Oh.
You hear as a tree hits the ground.
Can I try to hide?
Sure. It's a little ways off, but you just hear the cracking of wood as a tree. Basically, you hear the wood snap, and as what you definitely can tell is a large trunk tree just.
It's a reflex. 19. We'll try to
19.
hide.
Yep.
nearby.
Okay.
Yep,
Damn.
so-
I was muted before. Shit.
Yeah, we were trying to tell
That's
you.
weird. I was
Sorry.
waiting on
No.
you.
Yeah. No, I was muted before. My bad. How far away are they?
I would have said over the embankment.
Yeah, there's like a large like mound, like an embankment. It's
Well,
not
how
big enough to
far
call a
is it?
hill. You know what I mean? It's a small hill, and they're on the
Alright,
other side, off to your right of the party.
Alright.
The voices are getting louder. Taruk, do you speak Giant?
Yes.
Okay, this is what you hear.
How long are we supposed to be out here?
Until we find her.
But how do we know when we found her?
Well, we will do damage to her. We will hurt her until she tells us what we want to know.
Sound plan.
Okay.
That's
Guys.
basically what you over. It's back
Okay.
and forth of.
All right, guys, listen. I hear them, and I know what they're saying. They're looking for somebody, a female, and when they find her, they're going to hurt her. So we need to figure out who her is.
V talks from her hiding spot. It's probably the hag.
V, where the hell did you go?
Just don't worry about it, Tariq. You'll never find her.
The disembodied voice, and you're starting to hear. Wait a second. Wait, where's that? Is that the
Wait.
one I've been here? Like you do.
Tariq,
Don't
focus.
do that thing.
Focus.
All right. Listen. Where's everybody else? Behind us, Tim, or are we all in the same area? Right.
I figured you guys are just kind of in like a
Okay.
puddle right now. Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, listen. They're getting closer. So we either fight, or we all do what V did and just hide and hope they pass over us. You know my choice. I'm gonna leave it up to you guys.
Can they be reasoned with at all? If they're looking for the same person we are, maybe we could convince them to look for her with us?
If you want me to, V, I'll talk to them, but just be prepared.
I'm just wondering, is it an option? How smart are these things? Are they decent? Are they people? Do they think? Do they talk? Are they like the pumpkin eating thing and we just attack them?
I would say they're probably closer to the pumpkin eating thing. I mean, they are evil. They're giants. They're not super smart, but
I mean,
they're tough.
in the Hill Giants' defense, we kind of just straight up attacked it. We didn't know exactly how smart it was.
I tried to talk to it, but no, you have a point.
Tariq
Can they
talked to
hold
it
an
with a
intelligent
lightning bolt.
conversation? No, but they can understand us if they want to. But they don't do talking, B. That's why I said I can try to communicate with them because I speak their language, but it's most likely probably not going to work, and we're all going to have to be ready to fight. So, it's up to the party. You guys all know me. It's what y'all want to do.
I mean, I think if we tried to talk to them first, instead of just straight up swinging, maybe it won't go sideways. Corellis, what do you think?
I mean, I'd rather not fight two giants.
I mean, I don't want to fight two giants either, but
We could just try to hide, see if they pass us by, or try to sneak past them.
Tim, how close are they?
At that, you hear the thump of a hand hit the embankment.
Lord.
Oh, they're here.
Give me a boost. Fine.
Oh my.
You shouldn't have eaten that farmer and his family.
Jeez. Right.
Ugh. And you see as this now a second hand reaches the top of the embankment, and this large hulking figure pulls up to about his chin up to the embankment, and you get a sight of his head. It is in fact a one eye
oh no.
at the top of his head.
Oh no.
Look, I don't think I can pull myself up. I don't. Soon as we get back, you're going on a diet. And you see is now this one kind of as he kind of rolls forward and kind of ends up on, sitting down kind of on his butt. He still has yet to notice you guys yet. And he just, ow! That was very hurtful. And you see as the second one kind of still struggling to get over the embankment. Just,
All right. So
are you sure this is north?
So they haven't saw us yet. They haven't saw us
Not yet, but they're
All right,
only
we
like,
gotta.
I think we
Yeah,
should
they're
hide And
yes,
then we'll
you guys
figure
should
this
hide,
out.
and I'll talk to them.
All right.
You guys hide. I'll talk to them. Listen to what I say, and we have to fight. You guys start attacking from the shadows. Deal? Come
Deal.
on. We don't have long.
Let's go.
If
All right,
that-
everybody
if
hide.
If
Okay.
that sneak past them.
Tim, that's the plan. Everybody's
Okay.
gonna hide. I'm gonna stay and talk to them if they, they
Okay.
happen to see me.
I'm gonna ask everybody except Taruk. Roll me Well, Ver's already hidden. Everybody except Taruk and Ver, roll me stealth checks. That includes Midagast.
Lord.
What is the light situation of?
He got another natural one. I swear
No,
to
but it's not good.
God. Oh Lord.
What'd you say, George?
What is the current light situation of the bog?
It's daytime, buddy. The sun's out.
I gotta ask,
Yeah, no, I understand
Sun's out,
why.
guns out.
Corrales looking for shade.
Yes. No, I got a 16.
10.
10. Nat?
Natil.
I see a little.
Probably.
I do too. Yeah.
Yeah, she's out.
Natil.
I could swear she just spoke.
She definitely did.
Hit her. Is Nat talking or sleep?
Hey, Britt?
Are you awake?
Where is she?
Yeah, there you are.
I am.
Roll me stealth check, please.
Gotcha.
She's sleepy.
I think she woke up. What? Yeah, still
No,
checking.
trust me. That was not her waking up. That's an arduous process right there.
It's a 16.
Can't see you, darling.
16.
16. Okay. 16, 10, 3 for Midagast, and
Oh.
Air's got a 19.
3?
Yeah.
What's
Plate
happening?
armor, disadvantage on stealth. Corrales, and you said you got a what now? I'm sorry.
16.
16. Okay. And this is.
What is that clicking?
Okay, so if someone else hears it too, I'm not
No, I heard.
Nope.
Right there.
totally crazy.
Gotta be Taruk.
What?
Are you tapping something?
Oh yeah, sorry. I was tapping my dice.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Okay.
Stop it.
Well, so I thought it was Torrin's mouse, and I was
Oh
like,
my
that's a
God.
loud mouse.
These guys. Hold
Couple
on.
net 20s, just saying.
No. They roll low, but unfortunately, they do notice one of you.
Dear. Oh no.
But first, Taruk, you're staying out in the open, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, now that
Yeah.
you get a better look at as these two Cyclops kind of one gets up off his hind end, and they both start, and they're still kind of bickering back and forth about, "Are you sure this is the right way?" I'm fairly sure, but it can't be 100% now, can I? And then they stop and look at you, and you get a better look at them. They are Cyclops. They seem vastly more intelligent than the last Cyclops that you came across. They speak. You also notice that these Cyclops have what you could call makeshift armor on. You notice the higher pitched voiced one has like animal parts that function as armor. You look on his shoulders and there's actual large giant tortoiseshells that cover his shoulders. There's what you can guess is maybe like types of armor from armor like an armadillo or such creatures, kind of patchworked armor on him. The other one is kind of like found makeshift ways to put like bark and tied like different types of bark to cover like that would substitute as like greaves and shin guards and stuff like that, which is another thing that you're kind of like, that's smart for a Cyclops, and that's your first thought as they just now notice you. What have we here?
They're so creative.
Did I eat him? No, not yet.
I'm Taru Bloodfist. Who are you?
Never heard of you.
Rude.
What are you doing out here in the swamp, Taruk?
Taru Bloodfist.
Right?
Oh, I'm just out and about enjoying my day. I was out here lifting some logs and, flexing and just hanging out. What are you
That
guys
is
doing
quite
out here?
nice. You see,
Yeah, it is.
the second one kind of punches him really hard.
Jeez.
Out here all alone, are you? Taking
Yeah.
a nature walk?
Yeah, that's what I said I was doing. Yep. You're pretty observant. Yep.
Roll a deception check.
Let's 17.
17?
I hope so. Let's see.
You're off to a
And
good
I'm
start.
watching. I'm gonna have that hair crescent ready for when
Yeah.
it inevitably turns into a fight.
Yeah. 16 plus 1, 17.
17.
Torrin's already got
Well,
his.
the higher
his weapons in
pitched
hand.
one doesn't notice any. Yeah, no, okay. For the moment, you see that they buy it. So if you are out here all alone,
Yes. If I'm out
he
here all
kind of
alone.
look. He kind of like he's looking around. Dangerous place to be walking out all alone. Black Bog Swamp.
I mean, I live for danger. It's the thrill.
He's just, you see the eye is just kind of studying you hard. You get that the other one is a little more susceptible, just kind of like, kind of taking everything you're in at 100% face value.
Let me ask you, fine-looking, big hulking creatures. What are you two doing out here in this dangerous swamp?
We're out here looking for the... And the other one punches him in the arm again. I'm talking to him. Keep your big mouth shut.
Oh, you seem kind of, rude. I mean,
We're out here looking for someone. But not
really
you.
now. Well, who are you looking for? Maybe I've seen them.
Well, technically, our supervisor told us to... You get punched again.
I
Told you to be quiet and keep your trap shut.
Sheesh. Are you gonna keep taking that from him? I mean, seriously.
We're out here looking for someone for our betters. And that should be enough for the likes of you.
You seem a bit, I don't know. How can I say this without insulting you? You seem a bit angry. Like maybe you haven't had a woman's touch in a while. I see you keep beating up on your friend there every time he talks. I mean,
He's got
What's
a
the
bad
problem?
habit of trusting people.
no.
And divulge. He reveals information. And
I
someone
can
needs
relate to that.
to make sure he keeps his trap shut.
I can relate to that. I have this friend named Torin, and let me tell you, oh man, that Torin, he speaks out of turn.
Hey,
he
look!
thinks-
And you see is the higher pitched one reaches his hand into a bush and grabs Midagast and hangs him. Say he wasn't by himself. I think he lied to us.
I have no idea who that is.
You see, is the second one's kind of like, All by yourself, was you? You
Yeah.
out here traveling with a... And then he kind of double take... skeleton.
Okay, hold on. Pause for a minute here. Listen to what you just said. I'm out here traveling with a skeleton. Now look up at that thing.
Unhand me! When you see his Metagas
Yes,
is
Metagas.
swinging around upside down.
Metagasy talk.
What
Alright.
should we do with him? I mean, I can't eat him. He's just bones. I don't even think it would taste good.
He's actually, you guys did my job for me. I've been looking for this bandit.
One more time, roll me a deception.
On behalf of Midagast, I hate you.
Let's go. That's an 18. Whew.
I'm loving all of this, man.
Let's go.
Shit.
You see, as the angry one, as you put it, kind of studies you really hard again. He goes, "He's the one you was looking for, huh?"
Yeah, he's the one I was looking for, just like you're looking for somebody. You know, but I can't tell you why I was looking for him. Just know he's a bad guy, and I need to bring him back.
All right, good. Put him down. And you see his the higher pitch one just, all right, just kind of sets him down very
Yeah.
nicely as Metagas kind of does a handstand for a second and poof, hits
Yeah.
him down.
There you are, and I pick Metagas up and I shake him. I said, "Why you've been avoiding me?" And I whisper to him, "This is gonna hurt. I'm sorry." And
You'll
I
never
pop
take
back,
me alive.
And I headbutt him. Boom!
Crack. Roll an attack. At advantage because you have him grappled.
All right. Okay. Oh God, that's a 19. And, Yeah, and the 3. 19
All right,
hits.
well,
Advantage.
19 hits. Roll
Yeah.
your damage for unarmed.
A headbutt is D4 then, I would assume? The unarmed strike is...
Yeah,
Right.
plus your strength.
Okay. Oh, shit. Damn it.
Yeah, oh shit.
Oh, shit. Okay,
Oh,
alright, hold on. Oh, God. That's 9 point... Oh, wait.
Wait, you can choose
my
to do
strength,
it
right?
lethal and do a
Strength.
performance.
Oh, yeah, no, it's just
Yeah.
strength, not my proficiency. Alright, yeah,
Just
it's,
strength.
it's 9 total.
Okay, you headbutt him. Crack, 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 and you hear as the entire jaw go snaps and is barely hanging on.
Yeah. Yeah,
And the
that'll teach you
most
to
now
run.
disturbing part is that you still hear Metagas's voice, but instead of the chattering from the mandible, it's like there's almost like it's being like somebody speaking to like a megaphone or like into a bucket. It's like it's got a reverberation to it. So he goes, "I told you, you'll never take me alive, live."
Yeah. Well, now that I found him, I thank you, gentlemen. And I think I'll be on my way now.
Hold on.
Damn it. What is it?
I mean, these aren't the ones we was looking for. You said yourself that we was told to look for her. They don't look female to me. I mean, I don't know if a skeleton can be female, but how do you tell?
You keep mentioning her. Who's her?
He kind of dismisses what you said there, and he goes, "You right, they ain't the ones we's looking for, and this... How hungry are you?" I mean, I could always eat. You rolled really well on the deception. That's why I'm doing it this way.
Rolls
No,
look,
that's-
look delicious.
We have a job to do, and he ain't it. I'm watching you.
I'm watching you.
You see his As it almost comedically, but he's kind of like not turning his back to you. He's just kind of like skirting around you. I'm gonna say Corrales, make a dex save as the Cyclopses are starting to trample through the bushes.
Oh, fuck me. That one.
No! No!
We were so close.
Oh God!
How far is how far is Corellos from me? Are we in this? No?
10, 15 feet.
All right. I was thinking maybe I could try to like hide him if I could jump down fast enough. Like pull him into the freaking bushes.
Alright, I'm gonna be... That's what it's... So that's gonna be fair with that. Ooh, alright. So Corrales, 10 points of bludgeoning damage as Gert steps into a bush where you're at. He doesn't step directly on top of you, but it right on your foot. And with a natural 1, you yell out. Hey, I stepped on something. I stepped in it. What did you step in this time? And you feel as a hand reaches down. All right.
Can I react?
I'll give you one reaction.
Can I sprout wings and take off?
All right.
These powers.
All right. I'm going to say... Okay. We're going to roll off on this. I'm going to make it a dex roll for you. Give me a d20, add your dex modifier.
Okay. Oh, that dice.
Dice jam.
Hey, gotta be kidding. 13.
We made it through all of this.
12.
Yes!
Yes! Clutch, baby!
Thank Muhammad!
I rolled a 6. Cyclops have a +6 in strength.
Good lord.
So what happens is this hand reaches down into the bush where you're hiding, you sprout wings. In which direction do you go?
Up.
Up. And you go up your flight speed 30 feet?
Yes,
And-
30 feet.
And basically, and startling Gert, he kind of, it's a big giant bird! And he takes a swing. That's a 6. Alright, does... Yeah, that's a 22.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he didn't pull his 10 more points of bludgeoning damage as you basically get backhanded by a Cyclops in midair. Boom! With that, the other one says, he's lying. Pulls his great club out. Pulls his great club out. And he goes, kill them all. Any you find in here, and we'll eat what remains.
All right, then. Let's do this. Metagas, you ready? Let's
Yeah.
fight.
We're
So, at 11:08, I'm going to say let's call it there.
That's a good idea.
We will pick up next week with the beginning of this encounter with the Cyclops. What we're going to do, we'll have everybody roll initiative next week, but, several of you will be hidden. So, we'll keep that in mind going into next week. But we're going to stop there.
We were
Oh, right. Oh, we were so close. Taruk, I am so proud of you. You did phenomenal.
I was clutch.
You deserve an Oscar for that one. That is a performance.
That's good.
I
thought you were going to get...
Oh, man.
Go ahead, sign off. I don't want to...
But, ladies and gentlemen, thank you as always for watching Kirbside Podcast, Dice Hard with a Vengeance. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, tap that little bell on your YouTube app so you never miss an upload. Also, listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We will be back next week here on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. And also, episode 9 from 2 weeks ago will be uploaded tomorrow on YouTube. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you guys next week.